Hi everyone and welcome to Loyola Weekend. My name is Ryan Murney and I am an Assistant Director in Financial Aid. I'm going to be giving today's presentation on common financial aid questions. If at any time you should have any questions, please feel free to email them to lufinaid@luc.edu. The email will be put up on the screen at the end of the presentation, but if you need that one more time, that is lufinaid@luc.edu. All right, let's get started. All right, so our first question. My financial aid award isn't enough to cover all of my expenses. What other types of assistance are available? But before we start, if you are unsure where to find these figures or estimated costs in financial aid, have your student log into Locus and view their bottom line estimate. Subtract the financial aid from your direct costs to figure out your out-of-pocket costs. From there, you can use these 4 financial options to help lower your out-of-pocket costs. The financing options we're going to be talking about today are additional scholarships, the installment plan, and 2 loan options, the Federal Plus loan and an alternative loan. First one we're going to be talking about is additional scholarships, specifically external scholarships. These are scholarships given by organizations outside of Loyola that will help bring down your out-of-pocket costs. You can find a list of scholarships organized by due date at the website listed there. These typically do require an essay of some sort, but they are available all year, so have your students set aside some time specifically to apply for scholarships. Another option for external scholarships is iGrad. Similar to the above, it pulls in scholarships that match CU, but the student can input data such as their GPA, their major, and their year. This makes it a little bit easier for them to find scholarships. Lastly, internal scholarships. The Loyola Scholarship Connection is a scholarship application that can be completed by Loyola students for specific departmental funds, academic scholarships, endowed scholarships, and other things like fellowships. However, these typically are for current and active students, so have your student keep that in mind for their future years here. Second financing option we're going to be talking about today is the installment plan or the I-Plan. This is the installment plan offered by the bursar's office. As you can see, these can be annual or for single semester depending on what works for your family. Each will have an appropriate enrollment fee added to the first payment. Instead of paying first semester upfront, an I-Plan will divide the remaining bill by the amount of installments you choose. Just note that you can sign up for an installment plan by specific dates. For more information, you can visit them at luc.edu/iPlan. Moving on to our third financing option, the Parent Plus loan. This is a loan in the parent's name for the student's education. It will always be in the parent's name. This loan is credit-based from the federal government, meaning it will require a credit check. Parents can apply for these at studentaid.gov. At studentaid.gov, they will also then be required to fill out a master promissory note, an electronic signature saying they will one day pay back that loan. These loans have a current interest rate of 7.08%, but for the 2020-2021 year, new interest rates should come out in the summer, so apply then. While interest does accrue on this loan, no payments are required until the student graduates or drops below half-time enrollment, which at the undergraduate year is 6 credit hours. If the family should decide the Parent Plus loan is not for them, the student can apply for a private loan or an alternative loan. These are loans offered by banks, credit unions, or other financial institutions. Now, as these are private, typically they are credit-based. And as first-year students might not have the approved credit, a cosigner will be required. Interest rates can vary from institution to institution, so we do ask that you shop around. Students can then decide to apply with the specific lender on their website directly. Reminder to give yourself some extra time as these take longer to process. Something to note about both loans is that they can only be approved up to a certain amount. That certain amount is the student's cost of attendance. This is determined by the other aid available. If you are unsure of your student's limit, visit their financial aid offer. On their award package, you will see a line titled Additional aid for borrowing. This is the maximum that can be borrowed by a student or parent. All right, our second question is, I was selected for verification. Why and what documents are required? For those not selected this year, you should still listen as you might be selected in future years. Verification is a federal requirement where Loyola is required to confirm that the information you provide on the FAFSA is accurate, based on the documents you submit to us. We have partnered with a company called Inceptia to help us with this process. If you receive communication from them, it is legitimate. Typical documents that they might require are a dependent student verification worksheet. This is asking who is in the household, the student, parents, and anyone else that the parent may supply 50% of their finances for. The signed 2018 1040s or an IRS tax return transcript. If you do not have a copy of your 2018 1040s, you can always go on the IRS's website and order that tax return transcript. We will also possibly need a W-2 or a student non-filer statement. If the student did not file taxes in 2018, they might be required to turn in their W-2 proving they didn't earn enough, or they will just turn in the non-filing statement saying they did not work at all. No need to send us documents that we don't require, just have the student check their locus to see what we do need from them. However, some documents will be directly submitted to us at Loyola. This is because Loyola will need to personally see the original document, such as U.S. citizenship. If for some reason your student cannot make it to Loyola to show us this document, you can always get it signed by a notary and then send in that and the notary signature. If I am required to submit verification documents, will my financial aid change? We package based on estimates, so once confirmed, it might change. If the info you submitted on your FAFSA is accurate, there will be no changes made to the award. But if we have to change the information based on the documentation you submitted to your FAFSA, we might also have to change the aid to reflect the new FAFSA information. I feel that my FAFSA doesn't accurately reflect our current circumstances. Can my award be reevaluated? Yes, we understand that your financial information may not be the same as it was in 2018. We have an appeal form that can be used in these types of situations. Typical situations we see include loss of income, divorce, death, or private school tuition. Just complete the appropriate section on the appeal form and send it in to us. We will then process it to see if your student might be eligible for more aid. To complete the appeal, visit the link below on your screen. Will my financial aid award be exactly the same every year? If your financial situation stays the same from year to year, so will your aid. However, some federal and institutional policies may change, but we will strive to keep it the same. Note that for academic scholarships, students must be fully enrolled and receive at least a 2.0 each year in order to be eligible for that scholarship again. What other situations could affect my financial aid award? Changes in your financial aid award can come from a couple different situations. For example, changes in your living situation can cause a change in your aid. Your financial aid can change if you no longer choose to live on campus within your first 2 years, because it is a requirement that students live on campus. So students are initially packaged with that in mind. If a student then changes that, we do have to change their award to be based on a student who's living off campus and with a parent. Also, note that in order to live off campus, a student does need to be granted exemption by ResLife. Other situations that their financial aid award might be affected could be grades, study abroad, and how many hours a student is enrolled in. Satisfactory academic progress, or SAP, is the one about grades. Students must meet a certain GPA, 2.0, and a completion rate in order to qualify for federal, state, and institutional aid every year. For study abroad, if a student wishes to study abroad, not all of their aid may follow with them. Have the student visit the Office of International Programs when they know what abroad program they wish to do, and to see what aid will transfer with them. Lastly, undergraduate students must be enrolled at least 6 credit hours for their federal loans. Alternative loans, they do not have a certain requirement. Some aid does also require full-time enrollment at 12 credit hours. If a student is looking to drop down classes or only take a specific amount, have them reach out to us and we will let them know how their aid will be impacted. What is Federal Work-Study? Federal Work-Study is something you might see on your student's award package, and it's based on need. This is funding from the federal government for an on-campus job for your student. They may work an allotted amount and receive about $2,000, and earnings will be given directly to them. However, students must secure their own job, which they can do by visiting our career center called Handshake. Handshake will also have positions for other non-work study students. Can I use financial aid to pay for books? Yes, financial aid can be used to pay for books and bought at the Loyola store, but students must first add Rambler bucks to their card. They can visit the campus card website to do this. Otherwise, students can use their refund to purchase or refund their book purchase later in the semester. And there you have it, commonly asked financial aid questions. Again, if you should have any further questions, please reach out and email us at lufinaid@luc.edu. Again, my name is Ryan Murney, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Have a great day, Ramblers, and stay healthy.